City's Metro. Drivers in western Wisconsin also dealing with dangerous situations. And Chris, I hear it's causing some problems here in the Twin Cities, too.
Yeah, they should just close the crosstown. Just close it.
Minnesota.
Nah, it's too dangerous. Just close it.
Well, that's what you get for living in South Dakota, wherever you live.
I promised myself, I was screaming at my steering wheel. I said, I'm going to leave it all on the ice, just like the hockey team did.
Right.
I'm not going to bring it into work.
Minnesota State Patrol is well, and then you sent us the obscene pictures and everything.
Right. Yeah, I don't think you left it. I think you still have some issues.
Minnesota State Patrol has responded to 404 crashes since 2 o'clock yesterday afternoon, 32 involving injuries. One was a fatal. There were also about 1,300 spinouts, 40 semi-jackknifes in the same time frame. A lot of the freeways here in the metro have a thick layer of ice, which makes it hard to tell where the lanes are in some areas. Snowdrifts are also covering part of the freeways. Ramps covered with snow and snowdrift, some very deep. I saw 2 cars spun out on ramps on my way here this morning. State Patrol advising no travel until roads are in better conditions. By the way, Governor Dayton has issued an emergency order calling for the Minnesota National Guard to help with recovery and sheltering of stranded motorists in parts of central and southeastern Minnesota. If you're wondering about snow totals, northeastern part of the state, National Weather Service says 14.5 inches of snow had fallen in Alborn by this morning, 13 inches in Twig, 11 inches in Proctor. Here in the Twin Cities, most of the snow ranges were from 7 to 10 inches. St. Paul Public Schools and its teachers union have reached a tentative agreement on a new labor contract averting a strike authorization vote set for Monday. The deal, affecting 3,200 members of the St. Paul Federation of Teachers, followed a 24-hour mediation session that began yesterday. No terms of the tentative agreement were released. The union has been in contract negotiations with district officials since May. Sticking points for them included teacher compensation, class sizes, and standardized testing. District officials say they're committed in negotiating with teachers, but say the union's demands would cost the district as much as $150 million. The union will hold a membership meeting Monday to talk about details of the tentative agreement, but the strike authorization vote scheduled for the 24th has been canceled. President Obama has met with the Dalai Lama.
$17,000 a year per student in St. Paul schools.
Really?
They can't educate for that.
President Obama has met with the Dalai Lama despite warnings from China that doing so would inflict grave damage on U.S.-China relations.
Did you say 17 grand?
That's what I said.
Per student? K through 12? That's as much as a college education.
Makes you want to say, Gunga Galunga.
No.
Gunga Galunga.
Gunga.
China views the Dalai Lama as a separatist. The private meeting was held in the White House map room instead of the Oval Office, where visiting leaders are usually greeted in front of photographers.
What's the deal?
Why didn't he bring him in the Oval Office?
Not sure.
He's got status, man.
Get any pictures?
Well, the Lama had a little. I think what he did is he kind of set the tone right away because he looks at him and goes,
If you came with some expectation, then you will get disappointment.
That's right.
Because I have nothing to offer to you.
That's why he's in the
One of
map
the
room.
things I've used on the Google is to pull up maps.
Railroads that haul
The Google. God, I miss him.
I do too.
There's
Can have filters on internets.
Are they expensive, them filters?
oh no, that's nothing.
One of the things I've used on the Google is to pull up maps.
The Dalai Lama walks into a pizza joint and says, Can you make me one with everything?
I hear there's rumors on the internets.
You've never heard that before?
No.
That's only about 40 years old.
Well, I'm sorry.
Everything on the Google.
Yeah. Well,
railroads.
I know that I understand and I'm gonna tell you that I think it's very important and this is diplomacy and that's enforce the border. Yeah. So my judgment is but it's a pretty vast part of the country down there, based upon the conditions based upon what the
And not one edit. Wow. That's the surprising thing.
Railroads that haul volatile shipments of crude oil have reached an agreement with U.S. transportation officials to adopt wide-ranging voluntary safety measures after a string of explosive and deadly accidents. Calls for railroads to slow down oil trains through major cities, increase track inspections, and bolster emergency response planning along